We were talking about all the tech giants raising red flags over artificial intelligence. Well, there are applications already in use that can save lives, according to experts. One of those involves a response to school shootings, such as the one we saw Monday in Nashville. Here's correspondent Mark Meredith.
It's looking for multiple things.
As head of security, Jason Stoddard is used to watching hundreds of security cameras throughout Charles County, Maryland's public schools. But thanks to new artificial intelligence technology, a computer is also watching in real time, looking to see if someone is carrying a weapon on school grounds.
This artificial intelligence has the ability to be able to identify a weapon, to assess what's going on and how that person is acting.
If the system detects a weapon, an alert is sent to a third-party monitoring center where experts examine if the threat is real. If so, school staff and police are sent smartphone alerts, potentially speeding up the response time to an active shooter.
It typically works with an existing security camera system where it sits alongside that and plays the role of the human being that might or might not be monitoring.
There are limits to what the AI can do. Guns hidden in backpacks or under coats likely won't be detected.
We know what the limits are with this. We're not saying that this is the panacea of school safety. This is just another layer.
AI weapon detection is a booming business, with the tech now rolling out at schools, government buildings, and private businesses nationwide. Mike Laif is the CEO of Pennsylvania-based Zero Eyes.
We started installing military bases, and now we're in 35 different states, and we have well over 140 clients.
Laif says his company mainly hires law enforcement and military veterans to review its security footage. He says the experienced eyes could mean all the difference in saving lives. These systems do come at a cost. Charles County, Maryland, the district we just profiled, received a $200,000 grant from the state to install its system. But in a few years, it's going to be on the district to pay for, with an expected cost of about $100,000 a year, so they can license the software needed to make sure those cameras are working. Brett?
All right, Mark, thank you. A positive there about AI. There's some dangers, though, as we were talking about. Let's talk about artificial intelligence with a computer engineer, video game developer who holds a graduate degree in AI, California Republican Congressman Jay Obernolte, who says Congress does not understand, really, the dangers of the new technology. Congressman, we appreciate your time tonight. And it comes on a really interesting day with this letter for a pause, and some big names, some big brains that wrote this letter. Should we risk loss of control of our civilization? Such decisions must not be delegated to unelected tech leaders. Powerful AI systems should be developed only once we're confident that their effects will be positive and their risks will be manageable. I'd love to get your thoughts on this call for a pause from some of these big names in the industry.
Well, I think that when we seek to regulate something, it's important to understand why we are regulating it. That why is very important. In other words, what are we trying to prevent? What are we afraid of? And in the case of AI, it's not clear, especially given the specifics of this letter, what that why is. What is clear is that AI can have some incredibly beneficial uses in our society and almost certainly will have a positive impact on us as human beings. We need to make sure that we make wise decisions about how to regulate so that we stimulate the growth of this incredible industry without stifling it, and at the same time implement the protections that are necessary to protect Americans' data from this new technology.
But, you know, Elon Musk tweets out, ChatGPT is scary good, but then he continues, we are not far from dangerously strong AI. And then here is Tristan Harris with the Center for Humane Technology.
We literally don't know how it works, and we don't know all the things it will do. And we're putting it out there before we actually know whether it's safe. No one is building the guardrails. And this has moved so much faster than our government has been able to understand or appreciate.
So for the people who look at this and say, wait a second, this is Terminator all over again. I've seen this movie before. Is that out there? Is that crazy? Why are all these big brains saying, hold on?
Well, it's important to think about what the dangers of AI are. I don't worry about evil robots taking over the world with their red laser eyes. That's not what keeps me up at night. But what does keep me up at night is the implementation of a surveillance state like China is attempting to do, the creation of monopolistic-like controls over AI by corporations that control large amounts of data. You know, that I do worry about. I also think it's important to realize the limitations of our ability to regulate. Because even if we clamp down on the development of new AI, unscrupulous actors are still going to be developing it for economic gain. Foreign adversaries are still going to be developing it for a competitive advantage over our country. We're not going to be able to stop those things. And so we need to have an understanding of this technology to protect our competitive advantage and our national security.
But do you agree with this pause? I mean, we're pausing. Let's say we do. Let's say we do this. You're right to note that China likely is not.
Right. I think that it is useful to be having this discussion from the point of view of raising public awareness of this issue. Some of the signers of those letters have done some really deep thinking about the future of AI and the consequences of our society. I think it's very productive for us to be having a discussion about the regulation that we need to create to enable the beneficial uses and protect against the harms. I'm not sure, though, that that includes stopping all development right now.
Yeah. Last thing, very quickly. I mean, you read this letter, and again, these guys have been working with this, and there are just some scary sentences in there.
Sure, absolutely. The things that really get your attention, are these existential questions about whether or not AI in the long term will be beneficial to our society. That's something that we're going to be arguing about for decades. I'm sure that some people think that computer technology has not been beneficial to our society. So these are really moral questions that we're going to be debating. But again, when we seek to regulate, we need to have a thorough understanding about why we are regulating and what we're trying to protect the public about.
Okay. Well, Congressman, we appreciate it. We hope there are more lawmakers up there who are really digging into this. Thanks a lot.
Absolutely.